As is Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Houston Rockets beat the Boston Celtics 114 to 112, and the Houston Rockets have done it. They have beat the Boston Celtics. Finally, Ime Udoka has gotten his first win against his former team, and that's one of the number one reasons I'm so excited about this win tonight. Obviously, I love what Amen Thompson did out there tonight. I love what Dillon Brooks did out there tonight, and he was great. Those two guys were fantastic. The comeback that this team made tonight, of course, and the fact that the Rockets went 3-0 against the Cavs twice and the Celtics tonight. But the number one thing that excites me is this team getting a win for Ime Udoka in Boston against his former team. I think that's the best thing about this whole night, if you ask me. So, what a win. We're going to get into a lot. We're going to get into a former Rocket who maybe played a role into tonight's game. Also, Craig Ackerman might be another big reason why the Rockets get a huge win. And you might wonder what I'm talking about now. The other night, a lot of people were saying the Rockets beat the Cavs when they beat them in Houston because Craig Ackerman did the free throw jinx, and Garland then missed 2 free throws, and a 90% free throw shooter went 3 for 8 at the free throw line, and a lot of people said it was Craig Ackerman. Well, during the game, the Rockets had a little bit of a collapse in that fourth quarter, and I completely thought this game was over. I believed, but I just felt like it was going to be really hard for this Rockets team to come back in a game down 12 late in the fourth quarter, going up against a team that's a great three-point shooting team. And I thought there was a chance, but I didn't think the chances were great. Well, down 12, they bring up a game-winning shot that Von Wafer had 16 years ago. It was just a couple weeks ago was the 16-year anniversary of a game-winning shot for Von in Boston when the Rockets won 87-85. It was a great shot in the corner for Von, and the Rockets get a win. And if you didn't know, this was one of the last guys to wear number 13 before the beard came to Houston. And so Von Wafer wore number 13. The Rockets are down 101 to 89, 12-point deficit. Next thing you know, the Rockets score 13 straight points and are up 102 to 101. So when we're just talking about Von Wafer hitting a game-winning shot in Boston, in about 19 year, it was about 19 years since that had happened. It was either 19 or 16 years. I think that happened in 2006, but it might have been 2009. And then next thing you know, the guy who, after playing that video, guy who wore number 13, then the Rockets scored 13 straight points. But so that's a little crazy right there. And then this gets even better. The Rockets make a game-winning shot in this game as well. Amen Thompson, amazing game-winning shot, and he has a career high in points, his first ever game with 30 plus, and we're going to get into him and Dillon Brooks right now. Let's get into it. So Dillon Brooks, we're going to start off with him, and then we'll get to Amen Thompson. Dillon Brooks, how about this? 36 points, 10 for 15 from 3, 13 for 23 from the floor. He is now the 6th Rockets player to reach 10 threes and ties the Rockets franchise leader in threes in a game. Before that, there's not an actual leader in that category because multiple players have 10. Fred VanVleet hit 10 threes against the Jazz on March 23rd of last season. Harden has done it 3 different times against Orlando, Cleveland, and Golden State in the 2018-19 season and 2019-20 season. And then the other one came in 2014 for Chandler Parsons against the Memphis Grizzlies, which would be his next team after the Rockets. And so a total of, four players have done it? Parsons, Harden, VanVleet, Brooks? Yeah, 4 players have done it, and Brooks is added to that list. And I think the only tough part about it is Dillon had an opportunity at the end of the game. It was 110 to 108, and this would have been to the point where I don't think there would have never been an Amen Thompson game-winning shot if Brooks knocks down this 3. But Dillon had an opportunity to become the all-time leader and threes in a game for Rockets franchise history. And he had the chance, and it was a really good shot, and he almost made it, but it didn't fall for Brooks, and would have been his 11th three, and would have broke the record for the Rockets. I know that one hurts for Dillon, but I think he's probably just glad they got a win in Boston for Coach, and just beat a great team in general. And I didn't really look this up before, but I'm going to take Dillon's word for it. I guess that's Dillon Brooks' first win in Boston, which I kind of find hard to believe. But you know what? I mean, it doesn't seem impossible. Dillon Brooks, his whole career's been in the Western Conference, so he's been playing them in Boston only once a year. I know with the Rockets, he hasn't won there. They didn't win last year. I don't know how things have gone with Memphis, but I'm sure Dillon would know that. So I guess that's Dillon Brooks' first win in his career in Boston, because he announced it for everybody that was watching television in his interview. He thanked the men for getting him his first MFN win in Boston. So yeah, that was funny at the end of the game in the interview with Dillon and Amen. But speaking of Amen, we're going to get to him now. Also, before I get to Amen Thompson, the Rockets are 5-1 in franchise history when a player hits 10 threes. The only game the Rockets did lose was the Chandler Parsons one. And they only lost by 1 point to Memphis in that game. All the others, they've won. They beat Boston. They beat the Jazz when Fred did it. The 3 games that Harden's done it against the Magic, Cavs, and Warriors. Harden and the Rockets won all those games. So the Parsons is the only one the Rockets have lost 5-1 when a player hits double digits. And there are many players who have had a chance, to get double digits and failed to. Fred VanVleet in April last year failed to hit a 10th three against the Jazz. KPJ hit 9 against the Bucks, and Harden has hit 9 many times in his career with the Rockets. I think he's done it like 5 times. Jeremy Lin did it. Robert Horry did it. So many guys have fell short of hitting their 10th three. But let's get to Amen Thompson. He didn't hit 10 threes, but he was just as good as Dillon Brooks tonight. 33 points, 10 rebounds. That's a career high for Amen Thompson. I've been just praising Amen Thompson for the last couple games, and he's been fantastic. 33 and 10, 4 assists, 1 steal. And look, I keep saying this as well. Ever since that suspension, that game against Tyler Hero, where Amen Thompson played a terrible game, got frustrated, threw Tyler Hero on the ground, then Heat fans thought it would be funny to just clown Amen Thompson and disrespect him as a player. A bunch of casual Heat fans, really. And ever since then, Amen Thompson coming out, he came back from the suspension. Jabari was injured, so he became a starter after the suspension and has been killing it. Before this game, as a starter, averaging 18, 12, and 4 with 2 steals a game and 1 block per game. That's not even including this game tonight. So I would guess he's probably averaging now 20 points per game as a starter since coming back from the suspension and Jabari's injury, and he's been playing great. And look what's going on for the Heat. Look, the Heat did have a good win tonight in double overtime, but things have fallen apart for the Heat since then. Jimmy Butler just got suspended for the 3rd time today, so Heat fans are I'm sure Heat fans are a little bit quiet now. And I will say Hero did have a great game tonight, but let's see what Heat fans have to say about Amen Thompson now. But he had 33, 10, and 4 was fantastic, and was the I wouldn't say the only reason the Rockets won this game tonight, because Dillon Brooks exists, but these 2 guys were fantastic. And hey, these guys prove me wrong if they can play good basketball together starting. I've been really upset with the way Dillon Brooks has been playing recently as a starter next to Amen Thompson, because really, what Amen Thompson has done being a starter, he's kind of, come in and he's made Fred VanVleet, Şengün, and Jalen Green better. We all know that. And he's made himself better. And all 4 of those guys have been playing better basketball. But the one guy that has, there's been 3 guys in the starting lineup that have benefited from Amen. Actually, 4 if you include Amen. There have been 4 guys in the starting lineup that have benefited from this lineup change with Amen Thompson starting. Fred, Şengün, and Jalen, and Amen himself. But the one guy that's actually hurt from that is Dillon Brooks. If you look at all the games the men has started since Jabari's injury, and look at what Dillon's done before, But tonight was the one night that Dillon Brooks looked fantastic with Amen Thompson in the starting lineup. And I think this is great. I mean, maybe these two guys have some builded chemistry after tonight because, Dillon has not been playing well at all with Amen Thompson in the starting lineup until tonight. This is a game you love to see for Dillon Brooks and Amen Thompson. But, when you see Dillon Brooks have a game like this, it kind of shows then Şengün, Van Vliet, and Jalen Green's offense kind of disappears because those two guys only shot they shot 9 for 32 tonight. So is that right? 9 for 32. So Jalen was 3 for 13, 1 for 6 from 3, 12 points, 6 assists. Had a little bit of an eye issue in this game. Van Vliet was 2 for 9, 7 points. He did have 7 assists and 5 rebounds, though. Van Vliet was actually really good. Besides scoring and shooting tonight, Van Vliet was really good with facilitating and rebounding and defensively. And then Şengün wasn't big on the point side of things of 11 points, but fantastic. 9 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, almost had his 4th triple-double of the season. He had a big game and had a big play at the end of this game. The Rockets were down, or always tied 110 to 110, and he cut with 11 seconds left and had a big dunk to give the Rockets a lead. And obviously that wasn't the gameplay because of Amen Thompson's game-winning shot, but that was just as key to keep the Rockets, or give the Rockets lead, and then Amen Thompson would officially win the game for the Rockets. And then let's get to the bench. The bench wasn't super effective as it was the other night. Steven Adams had a season high the other night with 4 points, he had 14 points the other night, which was a season high. Tonight, only 4 points and 4 rebounds in 14 minutes. 5 points for Aaron Holiday, 1 assist. 6 points for Tari Eason with 6 rebounds and 2 assists, 2 for 10, 2 for 7 from 3. So, yeah. I want to get back to Şengün. Boston actually has had a really good strategy defensively with him. He scored 12 points in the first quarter in Houston against Boston, or it was 12 points in the first 14, 15 minutes of the game against Boston in Houston. Then he only finished the game with 14 points and made a huge change defensively against Şengün, putting Kornet, or Porzingis, putting 2 big men on him, whether it was Kornet and Porzingis or it was Porzingis and Keita, and that was a real problem for Alperen Şengün, and I think it was a problem tonight as well since he shot 4 for 10. But whether it's just Porzingis or it's Porzingis and Kornet that was on him tonight, or whatever 2 big men it was on that were on him tonight, which I think was a problem for him, he still found a way to facilitate and find open guys, and that's why he almost had a double-digit assist game tonight, and he was fantastic. I also want to say real quick, I don't want to hear Celtics fans start saying the crap I think they'll be saying with, we didn't have so-and-so. We didn't have Derek White. We didn't have Big Al or, Sam Hauser. Those guys are big pieces. I'm not trying to compare these next couple guys I'm going to bring up to these guys, but let's not forget the Rockets didn't have Jabari Smith Jr. or Cam Whitmore. The Celtics statistically are a way better team than the Rockets, and we're at home where they have been really good this season. So, yeah, I don't think there are really any excuses. Yes, Derek White, Al Horford, and Sam Hauser are great, but the Rockets have very meaningful players out as well with Cam and Jabari, and you guys are at home and the way better team, so there are no excuses for losing this game. But GG Celtics fans, let me know your thoughts on the Rockets winning 114 to 112. Great win for the Rockets tonight. And who would have thought the Rockets would have went 3-0 against the Cavs twice and the Celtics once? Not me. I know a lot of Rockets fans were thinking the Rockets would go 0-3, weren't too confident. And I actually don't look. It sounds bad to think your team's going to go 0-3, but when you're playing great teams like the Celtics and the Cavs, it doesn't sound that crazy. I personally did not think this team was going to go 3-0 against the Celtics, and the Cavs. I didn't think that the Rockets would go over 3 in these games. What I was hoping for was at least to go 1-2 to the point where you win one against Cleveland and you hope to beat Boston. But if you can compete with Boston, that's a good thing. But I never thought this team would go 3-0 against these two teams in these 3 matchups. So proud of this team. Let me know your thoughts on the Rockets winning 114 to 112 in the comment section. And peace out. Go Rockets.